Hi, okay, let's see if we could take a few minutes and make sense out of some of the things we're hearing over the news now. I'm going to focus us on a few things, so let's try and see if we connect the dots regarding Germany, London, New York, Illinois. We just heard about this so-called van attack in Germany. The authorities there refused to release the name of the perpetrator, even though they know who he is. In London, knife attacks. The mayor of London now wants to ban knives, saying that no one has a need to carry a knife. Sounds familiar? In New York, the governor of New York said no one needs more than 10 rounds to kill a deer. In Illinois, we have some obscure town board or town council, basically unconstitutionally, really, abolished the Second Amendment, saying that these brand of rifles are outlawed with $1,000 penalty, a punishment, a very coercive act by government, an infringement on the rights. Very bad, unconstitutional, it won't stand. All of these school attacks, all of these other attacks you're seeing that they're really pumped up with a lot of emotion. Do you notice the pattern of what the outcome is? The remedy is always to disarm the public. Disarm you. Disarm me. Disarm the public. Oh, we don't want to disarm you. We just want to take your weapons away. And abolish the Second Amendment. That's what it is. Now, if you abolish the Second Amendment, then you abolish all of it. Because where does it stop? So this is something that we have to look to see if there's a pattern. Also, we're coming on the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. Now, why do we want to study that? Let's look back on that, reflect on that, because there were a lot of anomalies with the Oklahoma City bombing, and a lot of things changed after that, if you recall. Now, after Oklahoma City, Timothy McVeigh allegedly drove up a rider van, blew up the Murrah building. However, the FBI refused to release the tapes, the videotapes, the surveillance tapes showing two persons in the van. One allegedly to be McVeigh, second John Doe number 2. Now, they had video. You could identify him. FBI never released or tried to identify John Doe number 2 and concluded that he was killed in the explosion. No evidence to that effect. And the video was never released into evidence. Second thing that was a little strange was that forensics experts tell us that rider truck was not enough to take down the Murrah building. Come to find out, there were other explosives that were undetonated, that were diffused, that were around the building, and forensics examiners discovered that there were explosive charges strategically placed around the rebar and strategic locations around the building, which caused it to pancake down. So it shows that there was a larger operation than just McVeigh. Now we're coming up on the anniversary of that. These were reports. The other thing was that was very strange, was that McVeigh was sending appeals through his attorney, not to appeal his conviction, but to ensure that his body would not be autopsied after the execution. Now, why is that strange? Reporters who witnessed the execution said that he appeared that he wasn't dead, that he looked like he was still breathing, and that his body was covered with a sheet from the neck down, obscuring their vision to witness that he was indeed dead. So, I'm not making conspiracy theories, I'm just reporting, relating back and recalling what the reports were. So, the outcome has been what? To dumb down the public, to keep us lie by omission. Then we come to find out through the FBI and testimony that there is a plot to frame the President of the United States and disenfranchise the voters, and in effect create a soft coup to try and remove the President of the United States from office on a fabricated charge. That's not constitutional. So there's a lot going on here that we need to look at. Also, we look at some of the highest level people in the levels of the FBI. We come to find out that Director Comey was intentionally covering for Hillary Clinton's crimes. We come to find out that McCabe was trying to frame the president. Come to find out that a fabricated dossier was put together at the highest levels, given to the Senate, Senator McCain, who floated it to try and again frame the president. That's disenfranchising the public of their vote. That's called a coup. That's trying to take down the government, the leadership from within. This is a lot what's going on. So you see, if we connect the dots, it seems like there's a manipulator behind the scenes to try, and the final outcome is to diminish more and more our constitutional rights. Now, why are we looking at open borders, of this great push to open the borders? Why are we looking at this caravan of migrants coming from other countries looking to invade our border and colonize, within the United States? Because when you transplant an entire population from one town or one village or one state, from one country into another, that's not migration, my friends. That's colonization. All right. Now you see what happened in Europe. So why is that trying to be replicated here? Why did the president have to turn around and say, look, I'm going to militarize that border if you try this? And why we have others saying, yeah, come into our house, come into our country, without a visa, without a passport. I mean, the name of that migration caravan was called Countries Without Borders. That's like saying houses without doors. Would you just leave your door open when you leave to go to work in the morning and give your address over the internet and say, hey, everybody, come on, I got a house without doors, come on in? And because I'm liberal that way? No, there's something amiss. We have to start thinking along terms of connecting these dots, because they're anomalies. These are things that are not normal within our system of governing, within our constitutional confines. So I want you guys to try and think these things through. I'm not giving you any conclusions, but I want you to start thinking about these things. Too many lazy thinkers out there. So another thing, or that's just a word of warning, and I'm not psychic, but these things happen in cycles. And people who study this kind of thing, who study security and counterterrorism as I have, and with the experiences that I have, know that these things happen in cycles and patterns. So we're about due for another pretty big attack here in the United States. So be vigilant. Be vigilant. All right, and we'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.